Hello, welcome to another Exposing Jaggi Vasudev video. Uh, Here is a disclaimer. If you are a Jaggi Vasudev, the Sadhguru guy worshipper or a believer, or if you think the Vedas has some secret magic that turns like mud into some magic, then you are entitled to your belief. You are entitled to live in your imaginary world. But you need to stop us right here. Uh, but if you are interested in truth, and if you are interested in exposing this jaggy guy, then you can keep watching. All right, let's see what he has to say. Uh, I don't know why people believe this guy, but all he talks is mumbo jumbo. Okay, Jaggi, what you got today?
Every substance has its own vibration. So there is a whole science behind it. From the leaf and the flower and the fruit and the food, everything is different for every deity. One is for you, one is for that. One is to enhance that energy, that's your contribution. Another is to receive that energy so that you can take it home with you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's just throwing out some gibberish mumbo jumbo word and he thinks it has some meaning. So, like, what's everything is a vibration? What that even means? Well, what he's trying to say. Like, you can pick any other scientific jargon and say it has some meaning to it. If you want, let me try. If you don't believe me, then let me try. Uh, Say you can use impulse, momentum, or effervescence. See, I can play this game too. Say every molecule, every atom has a momentum. Every life has a momentum. Yeah, even the tree, even the flower, even the deer, the life, this universe, the other planet, all momentum in it. There's a momentum in us. There's a momentum in our mind. There's a momentum in our soul. There's a momentum in your hand. There's a momentum in your eyes. There's a momentum in life. There's enhance our life. See, now I'm become a mystic. Let me pick another word. Impulse. There's a momentum, there's an impulse in every atom, there's an impulse in every molecule, there's an impulse in every compound, there's an impulse in every food, there's an impulse in every life, there's an impulse in tree, there's an impulse in plant, there's an impulse in animals, there's an impulse in bacteria, there's an impulse in planets, there's impulse in country, there's impulse in art, there's impulse in muscles, there's an impulse in life, there's an impulse in planet, there's an impulse in sun, there's an impulse in earth, there's an impulse in universe, there's an impulse in galaxy, there's an impulse in space, there's an impulse in everything. In you, everywhere, the impulse makes us a whole. The impulse is what who we are. The impulse in food, there's impulse in water, there's impulse in air we breathe. We breathe impulse. We breathe in impulse, we breathe out impulse. See, I can play this. Now you have to call me a mystic. But what I said, it's a mumbo jumbo. It has no meaning whatsoever. But I use a scientific words, so I must be genius. Don't you think? Let me try this again. Say, I can pick some other, not just these two, momentum or impulse, any other scientific word and play this game. Let me go and pick up word in a chemistry dictionary. Okay, just a random word. How about that? Ampholyte. What about ampholyte? A substance that can act as either an acid in the presence of a strong base or a base when in the presence of a strong acid. It has specific meaning in chemistry. If you are not a chemist or if you never study chemistry, it won't make any sense to you. You can see ampholyte in every life, every food. There's ampholyte in every life and food we eat. the food animal eat. What about amphoteric, describing a compound that can act as both an acid and a base? I know if you don't understand chemistry, you have no clue what it means. But it's a scientific word, so you can use to spout some mumbo jumbo gibberish. There's amphoteric in food, there's amphoteric in the molecule, there's amphoteric in the water we drink, there's amphoteric in the air we breathe, there's amphoteric in the life, there's amphoteric everywhere. It's in the cosmos, it's in the space, it's in the life everywhere around us. But what he said has no freaking meaning. It's just utter gibberish. But hey, I use scientific words, so it must have a meaning. So I use scientific words and all the life and things around us. So I'm a mystic. I'm a genius now. What a stupid thing this guy is. Oh my gosh. Okay, what else he gets to say? I don't know how people watch this guy.
This is the only culture which clearly understands that God is our making. Everywhere else people think God made them. Here we know it is we who made the gods. There's a whole…
No, you didn't say that. Either he's lying or he's utter stupid. I think he's stupid. But he believes in his own stupidity. Every culture had this belief, the different deity belief before. Aztec culture, Mayan culture, Roman had it, Greek, Mesopotamian culture, Chinese, Indus. All the culture had it. Even you can go now in African continent, there's old tribal, they have their belief in different deities. And what he just said is just a lie, or he's a stupid moron, he doesn't know anything about other culture.
technology of God making in this country, that you can make a God that you want. The science or the technology of God making, in the sense we understood that existence is just the same energy everywhere. It can…
Wait, so now he randomly threw a science and technology word and he pretends to say it has a meaning. What's the science has anything to do with the belief system that people believe in different deity and they don't understand, say for example disease. They don't understand the disease, how it causes him, then they assign a deity and hope and believe that deity can cure that. So there's no science in it. The science is germ theory. That's what science is. Science is not belief that magically some deity is like human being inside a rock that's going to cure you. No, that's not a science. That's not a technology. I don't think he even knows the meaning of the word technology. Technology is using the knowledge of especially science to apply for the practical purposes. But what is the science behind the deity? Is that a belief that it will cure you, or the germ theory? What a nonsense, bollocks.
be a rock, it can be a tree, it can be a flower, it can be a fruit, it can be an animal, a bird, a human being. So if a rock can be a human being…
Hey, it's energy, healing, everything. You can use any other word and use the same thing just like I did. There's an impulse in everything, there's every being, there's a momentum in every molecule, there's a momentum in every rock, and there's a momentum in every stone, there's momentum in mud, there's momentum in soil, momentum in human being. Huh. What a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
See, what was soil, what was mud out there became food. What was food is sitting here as Alexander the Great. Yes or no?
No. Mud is not your food. That means you don't even know how plants makes food, becomes a food for you. So the plant, you think this makes a soil into food? That's totally wrong. Absurd. See, the soil or the mud mostly made of silicon compounds, silicon oxide compounds. But that's not what your plant observes. The plant observes some of the minerals and like potassium, calcium, and some nitrogen. But the most of the food is made of carbon molecules. So that comes from where? Air, carbon dioxide. So there's some water in it. The water from the mud that's absorbed into a plant. So the mud is mostly silica and silicon compound. That's not you eat. That's not changed into food. The food comes from different things. So he doesn't even know. He thinks mud becomes food. You can go take a mud, silicon dioxide, and go on turn into some soil, then you think a plant will grow? No. Without other minerals, plants won't grow. Where do you think those mud come from? Rocks. Yeah, if you pick up a rock that's only have a silicon dioxide, silicon compounds, do you think your plant gonna grow on the silicon compound out of the rock? What an idiot.
So if mud can become Alexander, can't we fine-tune it to become something more?
No. You're not fine-tuning anything. All you do is make a mud or stone into a statue or deity with the belief. You tell some words from Vedas that some people used to believe 3,500 years ago, and once they utter the words, they think it become magically some being. That's a belief. You're not turning anything into anything. That mud's still mud. Just because you believe it turned to something doesn't mean it actually turned to something. It's in your mind. It's not in the mud. It's not in the rock. It's not in the stone. It's in your mind. That you believe it. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be the fact.
So we understood this. This is called the science of consecration.
No, this is
If
called
this…
not science of anything's consecration. It's a belief of consecration.
Mud can become a human being, it can become a tree, it can become a flower, it can become a fruit. If you create the necessary tuning, it will become a divine entity.
No, it doesn't become anything. It's still same mud, unless there's a chemical reaction occurs. But despite the fact, it's still same thing. It's your belief that you believe it came to something because you uttered some word spoken 3,500 years ago that has a magic word. Remember, the people who spoke words before the 3,500, they didn't have the magic word. But now we create that magic word. Only the people who spoke 3,500 years ago, they uttered some magic words called Vedas. That's the only one has that magic power. Not before that, not after that. See? That's called belief.
It will become a divine presence. This is the whole science of consecration. So people started creating various kinds of gods. For different purposes, different kinds of gods. This is not just belief system.
It is a belief system. It is just a belief system, nothing else.
You go sit in the Dhyana Lingam, how it feels. Go into the Bhairavi, how it feels, very different. Go and sit in the Adiyogi Alayam, very, very different.
No, unless the room has a different temperature or chemistry, air chemistry, or if you put fragments, nothing different. The stone you are worshipping, it's same, unless over time the weathering occurs. But if it doesn't, then it's still same. If it's feel different, it's because you want to feel different. It's in your mind or the atmosphere around it. But basically, it doesn't change into magically into something else. It's also same rock and same mud, but the only thing that changes is your mind. You want to feel it different because others believe it so, then you want to believe it so. It, it, you can go and sit there, you may really feel it different because you wanted it and you believe it feels different. But if I go and sit there, it won't make any difference for me because I don't believe in your belief. What a nonsense.
because they are consecrated differently, different kinds of manifestations of the same energy. Even now it's the same thing. The same energy is manifesting itself as a stone, as a tree, as a flower, as a fruit, as a bird, as an animal, as a human being. The same thing, if it is taken to its subtlest possibility, it becomes divine.
Hey, why then you use mud? Why don't you use shit? People do that too. They take a cow shit, called cow dung, then they utter the word, then it becomes magically defined. But have you ever asked, why don't you use human shit, human crap, human dung? Why not? If it's all same energy, why not? What you should try. If you're really believing this thing, uh, then you should try. Is it really you believe in it, or you just trying to justify your practices with some kind of principle that never exists? If you really believe in this principle, then you should apply it to everything. It's not just your practice. Go and pick up your human share or human crap and or utter those Vedic words and see if it becomes a divine. You should try if you really believe in your belief, or whatever you call the science of consecration. There's no science. It's utter mumbo jumbo nonsense. And why do people believe this guy? It pisses me off. All right.